Hallelujah to the only true and wise King who is triumphant in every situation, who never slumbers nor sleeps. Hallelujah to the King who reigns supreme, and there's none like the Creator eternal who reigns in all of his majesty, glory, and splendor. He is Yah all by himself. There's only one true and wise King who's omniscient and triumphant in every circumstance. May he rule in splendor. Hallelujah. Blessed be he. Hallelujah, family. Glory to the only true and wise King. I just want to bless the Creator. He's still on his throne. And regardless of what the enemy of our soul does, he is still on his throne and he'll never come down. Hallelujah. I don't know about you, but I'm glad about that. He will never come down from his throne. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. I want to shout out to my babies. Shout out to all my babies. Call, tell everybody, my Barb is live and well. Hallelujah. My Barb's Health Corner is here. Praise be our King eternal. I hope you're feeling well today. Tell me you are. No sickness, no disease, no infirmities shall befall you, no plague shall overcome you. I thank you, the Creator, for Psalms 91 all around about you. And I shout out to my babies in Ohio. My babies in Ohio. Your Mima, love you. And my babies in Texas. Your Nana, love you. And I want you to listen. Don't forget to tell your mommy and daddy what you learned today. And when this different things come upon you, you know how to deal with it. No sickness, no disease. Psalms 91 all around about you. Isaiah 53, 4 and 5. He sent his word and it healed. How about some of those herbs? He sent his word. Where is that scripture, son? It says he sent his word and it healed. Now we also, don't forget to write down Genesis 1:29 and meditate on it.
Oh, yeah.
What does the scripture says?
Every herb you receive. Oh, you want me to read it?
He healed, yeah.
I'm sorry, Genesis 1.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Creator.
1 minute, your family.
Okay. And he sent his word and it healed.
Oh, you wanted that one?
Yeah, that one. He sent his word and it healed. Where was that one?
We'll come back.
Okay. We'll come back to that one. So today, family, we're going to finish off. You know what? My family in Ohio, I want to, and my unidentified Hebrew. Don't forget to thumbs up on me. And come on into this. Come on into class. We need you. Now, today we're going to finish up this family. Remember last week we talked about how to boost the immune systems and some herbs you need in your medicine cabinet. Now, what did we say our medicine cabinet was? Our pantry? Mm-hmm. We need our pantries. Now, last week we told you about the fever. Yes.
Psalm 107, verse 19.
That's it.
Then they cried unto the Lord in their trouble.
Yes.
And he saved them out of their distress.
Yes.
He sent his word.
Yes.
And healed them.
Yes.
And delivered them from their destruction.
That's the word. Hallelujah. We draw from that word. We draw from the power of that word that came from our eternal. He delivers us from all sicknesses and diseases. Hallelujah. He's already made a way of escape. Family, I want you all to know that. And he, you know what? Such an awesome Creator that he would remember to bring us such awesome awesome herbs. Glory. You know, I was telling somebody, one of my babies this morning, about dandelion tea. Did you have your dandelion tea? Okay, let's do this. Now, I know we've been doing our lemon water in the morning. Don't forget your lemon water, family. Your lemon water will cleanse out those toxins first thing in the morning. Don't forget your cayenne pepper tea. That's going to keep your immune system boosted up from that cayenne, from that vinegar, that apple cider vinegar. Don't forget, all those will help boost your immune systems today. And if you have a little itchy throat, that's what we're going to talk about today. The headaches, the itchy throats, and all of that today. The headaches, I've been told you all. Now you all have to overlook my handwriting. Don't look at my handwriting. I know it's atrocious, but you can make it out. But today we're going to talk about, because we talked about fever. Remember, last week was bone set. We talked about elderflower. And remember, we talked about that. Don't forget the elder. And then we talked about Elencamp. It's Elecampan. Remember we talked about? That was one of the ones we talked about for asthma and stuff like that. We're going to talk about that. You know, we talked about ginger and how ginger's good for fevers and to take the fever down. Remember, we're going to do the ginger. Remember, family, you don't forget this time you have to do your ginger water during this time. So take your ginger root. Remember we talked about ginger root, and we're going to take that ginger root. We're going to peel it off. You can take a little spoon and take the top layer off, wash it off really good, and we chop it up or take it through a press and make your ginger water, boil it until it turns what color? A color almost like this. Almost like that. And the only side, and we do that per quart. And the size, because we're gonna make it a size, the size you're gonna do is from here to here. That's the size. The size is from here to here, an inch. And then you're gonna put it in a ginger press or a garlic press, or you can slice it really well and then put it in there and you're gonna boil it, okay, family? And you're gonna drink that water during this. It's gonna taste spicy. My husband says it tastes like pepper, but it's hot like pepper. And you're gonna drink that, your ginger, you're gonna put a little turmeric in it and make a little tea with a little lemon and a little bit of honey. And when you do that, you can drink that during the day, throughout the day. Now remember, what did we say? Small things, great things come in small packages. We're gonna do the parsley. You can still do parsley water, family. Do the parsley water and it still detoxifies the body. Even in the wintertime, you can do that. And it keeps the body cleansed from the heavy metals and everything in the body. You can do, and keep your fluids going. Do for those with headaches, or you're dealing with a little sinuses, do peppermint. Peppermint, put a little in tea. You take a little bit of hot water, put a little peppermint extract. You know, that's a cheap way if you don't have any peppermint leaves like your Ima at home. So you could take some pepper, go to the grocery store, get peppermint extract. And it's an extract, it's real cheap. Just like your vanilla extract, get your peppermint extract and put a little bit in your water. You can make it strong or as weak as you want it. And you can drink it during the day and it keeps all of this cleared out and everything. And that's really one way to keep the sinuses clear, keep all of this cleaned up. Now, some of us from time to time will use myrrh and we'll put it in our mouth and let the myrrh set, and the myrrh would go throughout all this part of the body and it cleanses out. That's what they used to use in the Old Testament. Myrrh and frankincense. You can burn your frankincense and your myrrh in the house and it clears out the bacteria. Remember, along with your, don't forget, you can burn your bay leaves that kills the mold and the mildew around the house. You can also, just some few little things, because remember, our Creator, when he does great and mighty things, he didn't just stop with one herb for everything. No, there's a plethora of things you could use for all of that. And come to think about plethora, there's a word, it's pleurisy, Pleurisy, and it has a lot to do with all of the lungs and the respiratory area, but it's a root. It's called Pleurisy. For some reason, my word's not coming out right, but I can spell it. And it's Pleurisy. And let me write it down for you. And it's a root. They used to call it, some people call it a sweat root, some call it a blood root, and this is what it is. It's Pleurisy root, and it's a root. Pleurisy root. They call it pleurisy root because what it does, it goes through the whole area and it opens all that up. So when you cough, you could cough the phlegm out. You know what I'm saying? So have you ever been around someplace and you say, oh, you got all this phlegm going on in your body, and you could cough it up? Well, this pushes that, gets rid of that phlegm and stuff all up in here, and it pushes it out. You know, when you have the mucus is built up so much in your body, turns green, turns yellow and green, and it's that hard. Well, this will break it up. It's that phlegm in there, and you can cough it on out, and that's what it does. But anyway, yes.
One of our family members in the chat, Francine, is asking.
Hey, Fran.
She said, Shalom, family. I'm surprised. Can you ask my Barb about dehydrating fruits and vegetables for the winter? Is it something I can do, and is it safe or okay to do?
Dehydrating your fruit?
Fruits and vegetables.
Fruits and vegetables, yeah.
I guess the winter storage maybe.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Because all you're doing is taking the water out. Right. And then you're using it again. You can produce it again. I have a lot of sometimes I bring dehydrated fruit here for the children, and dehydrated fruit and vegetables, and we have plums and things like that. And it's good to do. You make me proud. You're getting this down pat. And then plus you can make a paste out of it. And that's what when they have those little fruit, what are those fruit roll-ups? That's all that is.
It's a form of dehydrating.
It's a dehydrating fruit. Well, that's where it started off, family. It started off like that until they started adding other stuff to it, but that's another time for another story. Right. But you could, yes, please do. And that's a way of preserving your own food and fruit and vegetables. So good job. Make me proud. As a matter of fact, what we do, a lot of times we would take, like, I love pineapples, okay? Because pineapples do a lot for the body. And we would take pineapples and I dehydrated it. Well, first I put it in my blender when I first get it fresh. And this is something for you, Fran. I get it fresh, and then I would put it in my blender in my fruit processor. And then after I get it all pasty like, then I put it on and this is just something for those who don't know about it. More than my pleasure, love. And you put it over your wax paper, and you put it in your oven or your conventional oven or whatever, and you put it under 200, and you could and when it cools off, you can pull it off, and you got your own, and you know what's in it, your own fruit roll-ups or your vegetable roll-ups or whatever you want. And good job, you make me proud. You've been listening, Fran. Thank you. I'm a baby. When my grandbaby when she was 2, she used to say, she would always be so polite. She'd say, thank you. And it was just so cute. So every so often I remind her of that. And she just turned 7. Shout out to my babies, my nanas. I love you all. And my 11-year-olds out there, you're the ones I'm talking to. Yes.
Family member in the chat, unidentified Hebrew has been.
Unidentified Hebrew girl.
She says, are there any other herbs besides cayenne that are good for circulation?
I'm going to tell you about it today. How did you know? Some things that's going. Okay, you just said peppermint. You just said cayenne pepper, but we were just talking about peppermint, where you can take peppermint extract and you can put it in your water. And that water, you can put a drop of extract and put in it so you can sweeten it, put a little honey in. I normally, for Mister, I'll put a little, just taste, I'll put a couple drops before I got my herbs in the backyard, I used to take the extract and take the peppermint extract and put a couple drops in his water, peppermint extract, and put lemon and a little honey or agave in it and sweeten it up, and it starts circulation all through the body, and it would perk them up, and it's good because it opens all this sinuses and all this up. That's another one. You could do burdock. Now, you can do burdock, which is what we're drinking today. Burdock tea cleanses the blood, it cleanses your blood and it purifies the blood, and plus it brings oxygen to the body as well. Did you know that? And thyme is another thing that brings oxygen to the body. Did you know thyme and dill? And remember we talked about that over the summer when we talked about dill and how all of these things, cilantro brings oxygen and perks you up. Vitamin B is one of your herbs that bring oxygen. And C, rosehip is another thing that brings oxygen back to the body. Did you know that? Rosehip, because it's high in vitamin C, it brings oxygen to the brain, to the body, and right on down. Pineapples do the same. Pineapples are high in that type of thing. So yes, there are many things we're going to talk about that, and we're going to hit on that. Do you know you could take an orange? You know when you open, you know when you peel the orange and it has that little oil, that burst of citrus, all in that. That's a part of oxygen. It goes straight to the blood, and it cleanses the blood, and it brings oxygen to the body. Did you know that? That's vitamin C, and that vitamin C brings oxygen in. So thank you for that question. You make me proud, but we're going to talk about some more stuff too. You'll see. Now, echinacea, we'll do it too. Family, echinacea will bring oxygen to the body. So we're going to talk about that. Did you know willow bark is good for headaches? And while I'm thinking about it, we're going to have this too. Rosemary is one. You can take eucalyptus is one that you can put in. As a matter of fact, I mixed up something today. I was going to bring you how, and now ladies, for those who know what I'm saying, you know those little thin pads, you could take that, little thin pads. You know what they used to do? I think I mentioned this to you all a while back, where I told you I used to use those little panty liners, those real thin panty liners where you can just, you know what I'm talking about. And it's so thin, it's like nothing. And you could take that and put rosemary oil, a couple drops on it, and I left it at home. I had to take care of Mister, but it's all good, you know. It's all good. But put a little rosemary oil, a little eucalyptus oil. Eucalyptus is another thing that brings oxygen to the body. And you could use rosemary, any citrus. Vinegar is another thing that brings oxygen to the body. Vinegar, Bragg's vinegar brings oxygen to the body, and we're going to talk about that too. And then you could take that rosemary, that peppermint, that eucalyptus, and you could we used to put it on one of those real thin pads, and put those during the time when we wanted to perk up and we wanted to bring oxygen back to breathe out. We would inhale that and keep it in our hands and just inhale it. And it would bring oxygen, plus make you alert and brings the energy back. Also, vitamin B complex brings oxygen back to the body, but there are a lot of herbs that have vitamin B in it, and it brings oxygen. You know, we made some lentil soup again, and I know we're always talking about lentil soup. And lentil soup will bring oxygen back to the body. Plus it gives you iron and all that wonderful thing, but it brings oxygen into the body. So, and so I just wanted to put those things out there. There's a few things that out there, but there are a plethora of other things. But back to this, willow bark is called white willow bark. And it brings, it helps the headaches, family. And it gets rid of the headaches and pains from what's going on, stress and anxiety and all that kind of thing. And nighttime, one of the things that I would, while I'm thinking about it, you might want to do ashwagandha. And I know I mentioned this before about ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is a good tonic, family, that you want to keep around. And at night before you go to bed, you want to take the ashwagandha in like a little small, warm almond milk, and it relaxes the muscles and it helps a lot for the muscles, so it's more like a little tonic, and it boosts the body. Something called xanthan. Xanthan is, I know I can continue on and on, and there's about 20, 30, 40 different things that bring oxygen to the body. But there's one, and this one, family, now this is xanthan, and it's spelled XANTHAN. I think that's it. THIAN, something like that. And what it does, it's high in CoQ10. I mean, it's the highest in CoQ10. It puts, now this is just an herb, This is a cute little herb, and it's high in CoQ10, it's high in vitamin C, it's higher than spinach. With me, I love that one that's high in spinach, and it's sweet potato leaves. And sweet potato leaves are high in higher than spinach. But it's that. You got a question? Okay, and it's higher than that, and then it's a boost to the body that you would never want, and it's a red plant. Look, red. I can't wait to get to tell you about red root. It's just something. It's just, you all just wait. I try to put all this in one. And I try to give you all so much. And I talked to my son the other day, and he said, Mama, stick to 5 things, maybe at the max, and then tell you all about that, and then come back and tell her. But I have to introduce certain things to you, so then we come back and tell you all the things that it does. So stick with me, family, and we're gonna come to this one. Another thing that's good is golden seal. Golden seal will help bring oxygen to the body because it's a blood purifier too. It's a blood purifier, and it not only does it's a blood purifier, but anything that cleanses the blood is gonna bring oxygen in. So keep that in mind. It's the golden seal. It's going to help with oxygen cleansing. Burdock cleanses the blood. Golden seal cleanses the blood. Echinacea cleanses the blood. Just garlic even, family. Garlic. Oh, the Creator did not forget us. Hallelujah. Can you say hallelujah with me? The Father didn't forget us. Oh man, I was telling someone, my Nita, this morning, I was telling her, there's so many things that's out there, and I don't see why, but the reason why the scripture says we fail for lack of knowledge.
We don't know that He provided things to cure you out here, but you go to the creation for cures instead of the Creator.
That's right. You go to the creation instead of the Creator. Baby, let me tell you something. The Creator did all these wonderful things for us, and we need to go to Him. I mean, things are going to come upon you. Go for it.
No.
Things are going to come upon you. But while we're in this earth, we don't have to deliberately go through sin, sickness, and diseases. These are some things that we don't have to deliberately suffer if you know the Creator and follow His statutes and His commandments. And part of that thing is to seek Him, and He'll show you these things. But I just happen to... His mercies, family. But let me tell you this. You had that scripture you were about to say?
No.
Oh, okay. So, family, I want you all to know that. And another thing, hyssop is a cleanser. It's a cleanser, family. You can take hyssop. Let me tell you something. You can take hyssop and you can put, and I know you said, Emma, you talk so fast. Well,
that's why some videos, they can stop and rewind. Fast forward and do it and take their time.
We'll take that. I love my family. I be trying to put so much in there. Hyssop, the scripture talks about hyssop in the Bible. And it says, cleanse me with hyssop. Cleanse me with hyssop. Hyssop is an astringent, family. It's such an astringent. You can take hyssop. If you get hold of some hyssop, you can boil it and put it in some hot water. And after the water's finished, and then take that hyssop and spritz through the house. It's an astringent. You can wash your hands with it and cleanse it. But don't do it a whole lot. Listen, little is best. Small is best. A little bit goes a long way. When you go to these herbs, respect the herbs. What does Emma say? Say this with me. Respect the herbs. Let's say it one more time. Respect the herbs. And know your body. You got to know your body. Know your body. And then you go from, if the first time you take it and you give it a couple days and it doesn't go, you don't get the right result, increase a little bit at a time. Every other day or every third day. Like, remember we were talking about turpentine. Turpentine. The one you can take, not the one you paint with.
Right.
Turpentine.
Right.
The one you can ingest. Don't just go and get some. Don't say Emma Barbs said do that.
Right.
The one you ingest. Go online. Go to eBay, Amazon, wherever you want to get it, and get the one that ingest. And you take that and you do a little bit at a time. But it's good. This hyssop will even get rid of parasites This gets rid of parasites. This will cleanse your parasites. Burdock will cleanse you. Dandelion will get rid of parasites. Do you know there's so many things that get rid of echinacea will help you. Golden seal will help you get rid of the parasites. But anyway, I just love you all so much. But anyway, let's get back on this because I'll never finish if I don't stop. But sore throats, echinacea, as we said, here's some. Licorice root. Remember we talked about that licorice root already, and we said how good that was, and plantains, marshmallow roots. We can do the marshmallow, it's the marshmallow leaf or the root. When you take it, you make it out, make it a little slimy a little bit, but you put a little lemon, a little bit of honey. A little bit of lemon honey goes a long way, and it makes a lot of things taste good. But you can, and you can do that and coats the throat, and that's for sore throats. Sage, family. Thyme. I made some thyme for someone today for their throat and for the sore throat that keeps them from that raspiness. And don't forget, there's another one that I forgot to tell you. Remember I told you all about a while back, and it's called chickweed. It's chickweed. Remember I told you all about that a while back? Chickweed. Let me put another color. So maybe you all can't see it. It's chickweed. Chickweed. Chickweed is a cleanser.
That's it right there, chickweed.
Chickweed. Should I rewrite it?
No, you're fine.
Did it come through?
Yeah, I can see it. I just didn't see when you wrote it because I wasn't in the comments.
Okay. It's chickweed. Chickweed is one of those that help with sore throat. It pulls the toxins out. Remember I gave you that scenario how Mr. was coughing and he was like had all this congestion going on, and then I gave him, put a couple drops of chickweed in the water, in his water, and gave it to him so he can drink it, and he went back to sleep and he was breathing really clearly. Chickweed is one of those things that you want to make sure it's in your pantry this year. Family, you know what, for earaches, and your babies have that earache going on. I hate to see my babies suffer when they say, oh my earth. They be pulling on those little ears. Well, ginger is one of those things you want to make sure you give them a little ginger, a little garlic. Ginger and garlic are the same family. Garlic is good, but you can put ginger. Add some ginger to it for the babies. You know, I know you all know about me when in the mornings when I do my little garlic, and I do the garlic press with a little bit of cayenne pepper, and then I put a little bit, Mr. takes his garlic like he take a peel. I told you all about that, where he chops his garlic up, and and you do the same thing?
Take that raw piece of
whole garlic.
Either chew it up and swallow it, or just swallow it up.
That's how you do it. Take that garlic. See, that's what you're supposed to, and it gets rid of all that. It helps you help that stomach, that indigestion, and right on down the line, that garlic. And then I put a little cayenne, a little lemon in mine, and mix it all up like that, and just take it down. He does like Tobias do, y'all, and just take that garlic and just chew it right on down. And so, but you know what?
I chase that with a mint.
And chase it with what?
With a mint.
See, with a mint. Will you take? Ask Mr. if he would please take his with a little lemon water, please. And but that ginger and that garlic is good for earaches, echinacea. That echinacea family. Don't forget your elderberry. Family, don't forget the elderberry this year. I know it might be for those who are in the elderberry syrup, and you say elderberry. Yes, don't forget your elderberry this year. You want to keep that, boost the immune system up, and it helps with that ear thing too going on with the ears, earaches and headaches. It even helps with headaches, family. When you and then chase it with your water and just do it that way. Licorice root, but this red root, we're going to get on that one day, and when we get on that, you're going to say, amen, when we get on that red root. But we're going to do that, like we said, it's immune support, your echinacea root, golden seal, and your red root. Family, there's a couple other things that I made sure that this time I know I almost forgot, son Tobias, how to work this thing. Where you put stuff in here. It like my little tablet. Family, you can take, now don't forget your time. Remember we said time tea. Now what I would ask that you do is when you do your time tea, add a little ginger to it, and that will give it that extra boost. If you put a little boost, put a little thyme and a little ginger with that, and then it's that extra boost with a little honey and a little lemon water. You could do it that way. Now, family, another thing I want to introduce you to. Oh, don't let me forget to tell you about hibiscus. During this time, your hibiscus tea, family. If you get a hold of some hibiscus, we want hibiscus, and we had some things that we were talking about over here last week about how hibiscus will really do it. But your rose hip, guess what? Your rose hip is just about pure vitamin C. Pure vitamin C. You want to take that rose hip, you can mix it. Now, I normally do a little pomegranate tea and put a little bit of pomegranate in there, and I'll do the rose hip to enhance it, and it is fantastic. I gave some to Mr. this morning, and he was like, ooh, that's good, and it made him do this. Because it was so family, I want you to know that rose hip will help boost your immune system. It's one of those berries, those beautiful berries that helps, it'll help boost your immune system. It keeps your immune system up. It helps because it's loaded with vitamin A, C, and oh, did you take your vitamin A, C, and E today? I forgot to ask you, don't forget to take your A, C, and E, and your D.
Oh, you get that one out the door, right?
No, not that, you need a lot.
Oh, okay.
Especially.
Okay.
No, because remember we talked about certain time of day. You can only get your vitamin D at a certain time of day, and you have to be out there at least a half an hour. And in the wintertime, because the sun is so far away, we're going to need to do that at a certain time and then stay out there a little longer for us. Now, don't forget, and then you could do your anise. Oh, let me tell you about anise, family. Anise is one of those, I think we put one, do we have it up here? I didn't put it up here. But anise, for the herbs of the scriptures. But anise, family, is a cleanser. You know those little things, those little, it looks like a little, huh?
Another one out there remembers in the chat, Adasa. She said, I know fresh water is healthy, but when I take it, once, like Iman said, the smell comes out the skin, breath, sweeter than sweat within hours.
With the garlic?
Yes.
Oh, baby. You know what? Okay, this is the thing. When you take your garlic, and this might help, and it does come out with perspiration, but you know what you could do? You could do peppermint right after. Drink your peppermint tea or your peppermint extract, and it would combat that. And or you can come back with it with ginger, so it's an extra dose. So you come back, you take your garlic and do like I do. I know it comes with that. And there's something called it's coriander, which is cilantro. But there's a seed, and I'll come to you, and they use it in India all the time. This seed is, it comes like a pod, and I sent a post out a while back about that. It's like a little pod, and you can put it in your mouth, and that's what they do all the time. They're called cardamom. Cardamom. Did you know you could do cardamom? Cardamom is so good for a lot of things for the body and for the blood. So, and especially it's good for teeth, for your toothaches, for teeth. It kills bacteria in the mouth, all up in here. So when you do the garlic, you can come back with cardamom, take some cardamom, it comes like a little pod, and take it out of the seed. Treat it like sunflower seeds. And you could take that and put about 2 or 3 in your mouth and then spit out the pods themselves, but chew the seeds on the inside, and it takes away that taste, and it takes away the smell, and it's cardamom, and it's really good, and it helps a lot. So that might help. I hope that helps, because it helps. It helps a lot. Okay, family. So I hope that was a blessing to you. I was gonna say, anise looks like a star. You all seen like those little stars that look like this, and they're little seeds. They look like a little flower, but it's dry, and it's like an anise. And those little things, and they're little bitty things, maybe the size of this, half that size. Little bitty seeds, and they look like little stars. If you open up an apple and you cut it horizontal, you'll see how it looks like that. And it's called an anise, and they're cleansers. It's a cleanser. Can you believe that? Okay, now I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you some things that I do. Okay, and it's getting personal. Tell me when my time is up, Tobiah. Okay, so in the mornings, sometimes I didn't get a chance to do it today, but some mornings what I'll do is when I do, you all heard of an oil pool? Now, in the wintertime and the summertime, whenever it is, oil pools are very good to do.
I said thank you, Mom.
More than a pleasure, my love. Oil pools are wonderful. Okay, so you're gonna pull all the toxins out from the day before or the night. We normally do it in the mornings. Now, what we mean about oil drawing, you could take oil, take like about a tablespoon, put in your mouth. But I take the anise extract and put a little bit, like about 4 or 5 drops, along with that oil pool, and it's like cardamom. It makes your breath feel so good, and you swish it together. And then after the oil draw with the anise, because it's an antiseptic, it's a cleanser, it helps with the respiratory and all of that stuff. So when I do it and then I turn back and rinse it out really good, but don't spit it in your sink, family. Spit it in not in the toilet either, in the trash, because all those, when you spit all that out, those toxins, you don't want to come immediately back in the body. So when you do your oil draw or your oil pool, spit after about a couple minutes. You want to swish it all around your mouth. You can use coconut oil. You could use any kind of oil, but don't use the that vegetable oil or any other kind of stuff like that. Don't. But what I mean by that toxic. But you can use avocado oil. You could do coconut oil. You can do. Make sure now. Someone mentioned to me before. They said, Ema, we don't like olive oil because it smells. Now, if your olive oil has like a rank smell, it's been there for too long. So you don't want to partake in that. So make sure you get some fresh, extra virgin olive oil, and and go from there. But different oils, you can use different oils, and you do and you can. It's called oil draw or oil pull, and you swish your mouth around, and it cleanses the teeth, so it kills gets rid of the bacteria. When you spit it in the trash, it's taking, after you have it in your mouth, about 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes at the max, family, because you don't want it to go back dissolve back into your body. And you swish it around and all that. Put a tablespoon in your mouth, and then you're gonna swish it around. And after that, less than 5 minutes, then you spit it out in the trash. Like I said, don't spit it in your sink, because you wash your face and everything in your sink, and you don't want to come back into your body. So all those toxins that you're getting out of your mouth, you're going to spit it back out in the trash. But as I started to say, I use anise extract and use that in my mouth and brush my teeth with it and all that. It's a good cleanser. It's a antibacterial. It's an antifungal. It kills a lot of viruses and things in your mouth. So when you go out, and of course you know that I put cloves in my mouth all the time. And so when you're around people, keep cloves in your mouth, family. The cloves will keep you from getting somebody else's bacteria. And I always tell people, it holds bacteria at bay. Because remember this, they used to have clove gum years ago. They used to have clove gum years ago. And so with the cloves keep your throat, it's fantabulous, I'm telling you. We love cloves. Repeat that. We love cloves. And so you put that clove in your mouth and you keep it in the mouth, and it keeps all that bacteria from settling back in your throat, your eyes, ears, and nose. So keep that up this year, family. And then don't forget you can use cardamom. You can do that. And put cardamom in the seeds and chew the seeds up. Yes. And don't forget myrrh. You use myrrh, and myrrh will keep all this myrrh and frankincense. The resin of myrrh kills bacteria because the myrrh is astringent, and it gets rid of all that bacteria as well. So when you chew on myrrh, when you walk out, and just keep it in your mouth, under your tongue, or wherever, it helps with the bacteria of the gums and the teeth. The cardamom, just like cardamom, helps the gums and the teeth, and right on that line in the mouth. Now, also, there's several things that the Creator has made for us that we can keep in our mouth. Licorice root. We already have licorice root. You can put that in your mouth, and that's for earaches. Remember that licorice root is what keeps all that bacteria and phlegm and all that from coming up, and it helps the ears, eyes, nose, and throat. Those are things that are really good for the myrrh. And you can burn, like we said, you can burn myrrh, and the myrrh goes through the house, and when it burns, it gets rid of bacteria, fungal, and all of that type of viruses in the house, along with bay leaves. Don't forget your bay leaves, family, to get rid of the bacteria in the home and fungal. Now, there's one more thing, and I'll get right with you, but charcoal, activated charcoal. Be careful with your activated charcoal at night, because when you're taking activated charcoal, you want to make sure you drink enough water. And remember, we said earlier in another episode, don't use metal when you're using activated charcoal. When you're using activated charcoal, make sure you're doing either glass or plastic. Hard plastic, not soft plastic, hard plastic. And that, therefore, it'll be better. Yes, sir.
Family members in the chat here, Tashana B, or Tashina B, I might be pronouncing it wrong, sorry sis, but she says raw cloves.
Raw cloves, yes. It's those cloves that they used to put in ham. Ham, we don't eat pork. Let me put that out there. You do not eat pork. We do not eat pork. But remember when we were in the world and we used to eat pork and they would put cloves in the ham? One of the reasons why they put the cloves in the ham because it killed the bacteria, as far as it can go. And not only for the flavor, but it killed a lot of the bacteria. And that they were putting it, so they would stick it in. I don't know about you all's family, but my mom would put one, stick it all the way far as she could with her finger, and then she put another one on top of that on the outside. And all through it, she cut, slice into it, she would put the cloves in there. That was to kill the bacteria as much as you could. And that's a lot of things what the people used to do. And that's it. So it's the same thing as you can put whole cloves, and you can have it in your mouth, family. When you hold it in your mouth, it softens. So as you soften, you can take your little teeth and bite off a little bit at a time. And you don't have to eat it all at one time. Don't do like some people in my household do, where they put it in their mouth, let it sit, let it get real soft. I'm not in the names. Let it get soft, and once it gets soft and they spit it out, you know what? It's good for the intestines too. So it gets rid of worms, parasites, and stuff in the intestines. So cloves will get rid of parasites, handworms, different things like that, but it helps all of it there, and it kills it. So yes?
Is it safe to ingest? Should you not swallow it?
Yeah, you can swallow it.
Oh, okay.
You swallow it, you chew it. It's into the stomach, and it's not. If you hold it in your mouth, those enzymes are going down to the intestines anyway.
Right.
The juices.
Right. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Those juices are going into the intestine. And it clears everything out down there in that intestine, in that tummy. So yes, you can chew it and then chew it up really well. Pulverize it with your teeth, and you can have it. Sometimes I would have it in my mouth all day. You know, just a little bit at a time. I put about 3 or 4 in there, and I just take my teeth and bite on it a little bit, chew it right on down the line, and keep something in your mouth. And plus, it keeps you from getting sick. You know, the cloves, because of the astringent and the power of the antibacterial, it gets rid of a lot of bacteria in your gut, because sometimes, a lot of times, the viruses settle in your gut, or what they call the stomach, and it helps to push some of that out. So that's really good. And so with the anise, any other questions before I go?
Tashina said thank you.
Oh, more than a pleasure, love. You know I got you. I got you. I love you, darling. So that anise is, like I was saying, you can give it, you can put a little bit in the children. You know, it helps with coughs. So anise, you can make like, some kids like it because it has that same taste. The cardamom and the anise almost taste the same, but to me, the anise has a little bit stronger of a robust flavor than cardamom does. But it's good for you. But you can put a little anise and spritz it, like I said, boil a little bit, and you can, till it gets like dark, and then you can spritz it around your babies and kids, and spritz them around them, and it smells really good too. And you can spritz them, or you can put in as a cough syrup if you want to make like a little tea for them, and you can make like a little tea for them and right on down the line. But don't make it real powerful. Make it kind of, remember we said less is best. And if you want to, a lot of people in my day, they used to use anise or elderberry syrup. They made elderberries, and they would be the elderberry syrup. So between the anise and the elderberry syrup, that's what we used to get, just so that you all were aware of that. And then too, the thyme. Thyme, remember we said that we want to build our immune system, and it's for earaches and all that stuff. That thyme is something, it's an anti-inflammatory family, and it acts as a calming effect on the body. So if you want to give some to your children or to your own self, you want to take time and you can drink it. It helps the respiratory. It builds all of this up, and it makes you breathe, because it's going to calm your respiratory, so it helps you to breathe. That's what it does. So, but anyway, and you can give that to children too that are congested, have coughs. As a matter of fact, I recommended that for my babies that were in Texas. They called me the other day. Shout out to my babies in Texas. And they said, Nana, we don't, my tummy, my throat. And so told their daddy to make a little thyme tea. And that worked perfectly. And then a little while later, then give them a little peppermint tea. These are just things for children. Another thing, you can make, like I said, ginger. So you all know about that. But there's one that I use year-round, family. You can do, it's called let me write it down for you. It's candula. C-A-L, wait. C-A-L-E-N-D, candula, U-L-A. It reminds you of you know what that reminds you of? It reminds you of, it's like marigolds, but it's candula. And you could use it as a syrup. They used to use candula as a syrup, and it boosts the immune system, and it was powerful, but it tastes like floury, which made us love it, because we were like, this is really, really good. And what it does, it reduces discomfort, like for the colds and different colds when you're coughing and stuff like that. And it's really good too. So these are just some things that you just want in your pantry. The next thing I wanted to tell you, and it's also good for the coughs. So boneset, coldfoot, elderflower, ginger, we talked about all that, mullein leaves, slippery elm. Now when you go to slippery elm, a lot of people say, slippery elm, come on, Ema. We use slippery elm on our hair to detangle our hair. Why do we have to take it inside? I had my girl, during the years, I birded, And they said, why do we have to take it inside, Mom? Because, you can make it like a little tea. You don't have to make it real strong, real thick, slimy, like you would for your hair, but you can make it a little mild and make it a little loose. And then it coats, actually, when you put a little lemon and a little ginger to it and a little lemon in it, the ginger and all that to it, it coats the throat and it keeps you from coughing. Something as simple as that. So, family, I know I could talk on and I could talk on and I could talk on, but there was one more and then I'm gonna leave you alone. One more that I wanted to make sure that you guys had, and I wanted to put it in here. And did I do it right? I don't think I did it right. Anyway. There's something called cherries. Wild cherries, tart cherries are good for this time for the year too. And not only does it get rid of the inflammation, and I know I told you about that for the summertime where it gets rid of inflammation for the joints and all that, but it's also good for all up in here, and it calms all that inflammation out and it gets rid of the inflammation. Tart cherry, here's something for my babies. Mommies, do this for me. Take an orange and juice it. And then warm it up a little bit. Then take some honey, of course, lemon, put some little tart cherry to it, and put some wild cherry in there, and that's the cough syrup. Instead of having the red dyes, you could do that and let them drink it. They're going to ask for it even when they don't feel bad. They're going to ask, Mommy, can you make me some cough syrup? That is really good. It's like a little tea, but it's made of oranges. I don't know whether when you all were coming up, did and I know you all can do a thumbs up if your mom and your dad used to give you peppermint, whiskey, and put a little orange in there. I know mine did, put some peppermint, orange, and whiskey. I'm like, what in the world is this y'all giving us?
Some friends might just gave you whiskey.
And they would heat it up, that honey, they put honey, a little whiskey, a little lemon, they squeeze a whole lemon in there and put it with honey, and they would say, this is a cough syrup, come and take this. And some would add, like mine did, lemon, orange, squeeze the orange up in there and slice the orange up and lemon in there, and they would put the whiskey in there, let it get hot, and put a peppermint cane, what they call it, what are those sugar, what is those peppermint canes?
Yeah.
And let it dissolve in there, and they would do all that. I'm like, Allah, they're trying to kill us. But it would put us to sleep, and when we get up the next day, it'll be fine. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. You had a question,
No, Sister Adasa would just say thank you, just saying thank you for your kingdom work. You much appreciate it.
I love you, baby. But I'm going to let you go today because I thought I wanted to. Now, you know what? Let me tell you one more. There's one that you could do. And it's peppermint, and I wrote it down. Peppermint, ginger, a little bit of black pepper. And you say, Imam, But a little bit of peppermint, a little licorice root, and cardamom. Oh, makes you want to say yes. Make you want to say yes. You could do that, family, and get a eucalyptus. Now, some things you might want to keep in your pantry too is eucalyptus leaves, because you can put eucalyptus in. And don't forget your fennel, family. Fennel is your friend during this time because it's an antibacterial, antifungal. This is your Imam, who thinks you are wonderful. You are fantabulously wonderful, and I love the Father for you. I thank you for having him to put you in my life. You're the one that keeps me thinking about late in the evenings, thinking about what I can tell them that I've learned over the season. Oh, don't forget, if you're ever in Missouri, come and drink some tea with me. We had tea this past week. We had 4 different types of teas, you all, including burdock. And you know what? I need to do 2 gallons of thyme tea, but it's all good. Family, somebody thinks you're wonderful. I agree with the Creator. You are fearfully and wonderfully created and made in His own image. And He must love you. And I think I agree with Him. I love you too. Don't forget, keep these things in your pantry. Get a little bit at a time. Take a little bit at a time. And when you think of your email, say, no sugar. No sugar. Sugar's bad. Sugar is bad. White flour is not good for you. My babies that are under the 13, I know you are 13 and under. I know you're telling your mom and dad, I can't have that sugar, mommy. I can't have the sugar. I love you too much. Blessings on your day. Psalms 91, all around about you, as about a shield. Come back and see me next week. I got some great stuff to share with you. We're going to go back and look at some more things that we have, and what do they do even the more. Talk soon. Blessings. Shalom.